Well, hello, everyone. This is John Arntz with the Business Freedom Formula. Today, our guest is Jesse Holmes. Welcome, Jesse.
Thanks for having me,
And
John.
Jesse's going to tell us a little bit about his business and take it away. Jesse, I just have an opening question for you, and that is, what are you working on that's really exciting at the moment?
Oh, it's a great question. So the thing I'm working on right now that's exciting to me is this procrastination coaching for entrepreneur business. That means I help entrepreneurs turn procrastination into profit in 10 minutes a day. So that's been my current project that's been most exciting for me.
Hmm. What led you into this?
So I've been an entrepreneur since I was 16 years old. I've started and run a number of different businesses. My last business, I grew up to eight figures. And what I'm doing is taking all of my knowledge over the last 19 years of business and putting it together into a way to be able to help other entrepreneurs, specifically when it comes to taking action and getting things done.
Oh, okay. Okay. So what kind of businesses have you owned?
My first business I owned with my father and brother was an e-commerce business selling on eBay and Amazon. I've done a number of other businesses, local marketing, digital marketing for local businesses, email marketing, affiliate marketing. My last business was a offline supplement business that we scaled to 12 million in sales, and that was selling supplements in newspapers, magazines, and direct mail.
So you were still selling through printed copy,
That's
not
right.
doing things online. That's
That's right.
very interesting because most people would think that that particular avenue of marketing was dead. I mean,
They would have
considering
thought it
there
was
aren't many
dead.
newspapers and magazines left around anymore.
That's right. That's right. Well, it's definitely a lot less than it was when I first started the business almost 10 years ago. But it was surprising. There was some months I was spending over $80,000 a month in advertising. So there was still plenty of news and ads space to go around.
Oh, that's very interesting. Well, that just goes to show that there are other advertising avenues other than doing things through social media or other online options. So,
That's right.
um, to expand on this a little bit, did you really look into, I mean, were these like local newspapers and that? I mean, where I live, we still have a community newspaper, a city newspaper.
Hmm.
But in other parts of the country or other parts of the general area where I'm at, they have some local papers that come out like once a week,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, that just advertise. And I know there's another one that I've seen that just basically lists all kinds of vendors. It's just like 8 or 12 pages of just vendors, and most of them are like, I guess you call it like an eighth page. Some of them
Hmm.
take out a full half page, but they
Hmm.
have all of these different vendors and they come out week after week after week, year after year. So obviously there's some value there to the vendor to
Hmm.
continue paying for that advertising. So again, I mean, you're not like advertising like in Newsweek or the New York Times. You're probably dealing more in local newspapers and publications. Would that be accurate?
Uh, we did cities all the way up to no, I was running in USA Today, all the way up. So no, it was all over the country.
Oh, wow. And were you shipping from Canada then too?
Everything was done in the States. Manufactured, shipped, call center, everything like that was all in the States.
Oh, wow. Wow. So it sounds like to me that if somebody wanted to do something similar, not necessarily supplements, but wanted to talk about how to set up call centers and all of this, that you would be a great resource for that kind of information.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's for sure. The landscape is definitely shifting. There's getting fewer and fewer call centers and newspapers
mhm,
as the day goes on, which is why I'm now currently focusing on my procrastination coaching online. But
mhm.
if someone is still interested in that, absolutely, I'd be definitely a seasoned veteran to be able to help with anyone with that kind of issue for sure.
Okay. Now, have you been doing or looking into at all using AI in your business in terms of, well, either in an existing business or in your current endeavors?
Oh, absolutely. I use AI almost every single day. The values I find AI for are definitely market research, just accelerating. I see AI as something that should accelerate a skill set, not replace necessarily a skill set, because it's very hard to understand, okay, is the information that AI is giving me, is this just being a yes man for me, or is it actually giving me the real deal? And so I think it's really important that marketers and online business owners understand the fundamentals when it comes to uh, either whatever you want to use AI for, making sure that you're amplifying and accelerating whatever you're doing, not trying to replace something, thinking that AI is going to be the magic formula for everything.
Okay, so what AI tools do you use?
I
I
just
mean,
use Ch-
most,
I use ChatGPT every single day. There's a like I use like video editing ones, like ones for caption subtitles. So mostly research and video editing and images.
okay, because I personally use ChatGPT for sometimes just developing ideas.
Mm,
Um, like give me 10, you know, 10 bullet points on blah, blah, blah. And then from there, at least I use it more to stimulate, if you will,
hmm
the
hmm
the thought process
Yeah,
and then
absolutely.
go. I don't use it, by rote, just okay, this is it, because it doesn't work that way.
That's right.
Um, and I think you would agree, a lot of it has to do with how you write the prompt.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So you're going to get different things. And it's interesting too, because I have a son who's working on an engineering degree.
Mm.
And in some of his classes, he goes out and he asks questions and he gets these answers. And as he digs deeper, sometimes Chat GPT just stalls out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, because he'll try to have an argument. Which is kind of funny. But when you think about it, um, you can get kind of caught up in it sometimes too.
Yeah,
But, uh,
absolutely.
but, so since you've done a lot of marketing
Mm.
and these things, what kind of, tips or tricks could you share with the wider audience? I mean, for instance, many years ago, I read a book by Michael Gerber. I don't know if you know
Mhm.
that gentleman. He wrote the
E-Myth?
E-Myth,
Yeah.
and he talked a lot about color and um, what you say to a customer when they come in, whether they're a new customer or an existing customer. And he went on in great detail about some of this stuff. And essentially, I mean, I don't know if Mr. Gerber is still alive or not. I personally don't know. I haven't checked into that. And I read that book probably 20 years ago.
Mhm.
I'm very curious as to whether or not some of the things he talked about are still relevant. I would think they would be. But what is your
Yeah,
view?
the E-Myth, that's it's a great book. I'm probably in the same boat. It's probably been almost at least 17, 18 years since I've read that book as well. I really like a lot of the principles of how to look at a business from a system standpoint and
Mm-hmm.
not trying to get too lost into all the weeds. Really looking at what you can replicate and automate and make it so darn simple that, like, he gives the example of McDonald's and says, how can I make this process so simple that a teenager could do it? And
Right.
it's a really good way to look at all aspects of the business, marketing wise or anything like that. How can I make this replicatable and sustainable and consistent? I think that was a really big point in the
Mhm.
E-Myth, is how can I produce the same quality product, day in and day out? And I really think that principle aligns with a lot of success principles in business. I really think the competitive edge today in any business is consistency, and learning how to be consistent and staying consistent is what's really going to set you apart from your competitors.
Right. And that's really his book is what led me to what I'm doing right now.
Oh, nice.
I began to look at this at the time I did it, I was doing technical support for payroll and human resource management software. Okay.
Hmm.
And, one of the nice things about software is, generally speaking, software is consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. I could plug in the same hours with the same tax bait and get the same net check every time. Okay.
Right.
You would expect that. So the point is when your customer comes in and you're dealing with them one on one, they should get a consistent result, good or bad, it should be consistent. And the customer can then determine if they want to continue doing business with you or not. So, I mean, if you're the only game in town, people are going to put up with you.
That's
But if
right.
they have choices, they're going to go. And the beauty of that is, and this is where I think some entrepreneurs miss it, is you can charge more and people will gladly pay it. I mean, I can go anywhere and get coffee, but I choose to go to Starbucks because I like the flavor and I like the atmosphere and I like the way I'm treated there.
Right.
Some people don't. It's not for them. But I willingly pay more for a cup of coffee. Although I will tell you this. My wife and I went out to breakfast one time at a local casino for her birthday. I got charged more for a cup of coffee in that restaurant than I pay at Starbucks. And I only just
Mm-hmm.
get coffee. I don't get the frappuccinos and all that. I just get coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I was stunned. $5 US in a restaurant for a cup of coffee that I paid $2.75 for at my local Starbucks. It just was, and the coffee wasn't as good. I mean, it's just like, but you're kind of a captive audience, but that's why I continue to go back.
Right.
And I think that's true with a lot of places. We tend to shop at the same place, and when you stop and ask yourself why, so going to what you're doing is you're talking about helping people, entrepreneurs, get up off their butt, get off the dime, an American expression. I don't know if you have dimes in Canada or not, but get off the dime and do it. But do it in a manner that is repeatable and consistent so your customer knows what to expect when they walk in your door or get you on the phone. And
Absolutely. You're right on the money there. Absolutely. And being consistent even in our marketing is a good tell of how we're going to be when we provide them the value. You know, if I'm inconsistent with my marketing message and how I deliver it and how often I deliver it, the customer is going to be uneasy. And how are they supposed to trust me, especially when it comes to coaching, that I'm going to provide them the result that they're looking for if I'm not even consistent in my marketing message?
mhm. So when you're talking about them with your marketing message and the consistency is you are putting your material out in whatever platform you choose on, like, if it's weekly, it's just on the same day every week, correct? So that if someone's used to finding you on Tuesday morning, they can find you on Tuesday morning. Is
That's
that
right.
is that accurate?
That's right. That's right.
And how often do you change up your marketing message then? Or
There's
do
always there's always you're always going to need to improve and build and grow, and you're always going to be testing and failing. But the thing is, it's good to, consistently be testing. But once you have a winner, it's good to repeat on that winner. A lot of people, myself included, one of the biggest mistakes I made is something would work and then I would change it. But it's so important to, when something works, repeat on it until it doesn't work. That was another lesson I learned from, newspaper advertising. There was, you could repeat and repeat and repeat until that ad didn't work before even having to test or change up messaging.
Mhm. But that's different than trying to tweak it a little bit to see if it works better or worse, correct?
That's right. You're always going to have to test and tweak, and it's good to test small and fail small. But once you have that winner or that result that you're looking for, it's good to repeat it and be consistent with it.
Cool. All right. So how do you work with customers then for your business?
So my ideal client is someone who's stuck in either an overwhelm or wanting to get something absolutely perfect. They got a little bit of self-doubt or lack of confidence. They're over-analyzing. They're not exactly clear on where to start. Maybe they're afraid to take that step. There's something that they're procrastinating on, a pet project or something that they know they want to start launching and moving forward with, but they just, they're stuck in that analysis paralysis start of mode. What I help them do is I help them analyze, okay, what's that one thing that you're procrastinating on? And I help them break it down to make it as easy and enjoyable to stay consistent at and to do every single day without burning out.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. It's that analysis paralysis, as you put it. Uh, I think all of us at some point have a little, is it good enough?
That's right.
And there is um, a woman who owns a business called Live Your Message.
Mm.
Her name is Marissa Murgatroyd.
Mm-hmm.
And she has this expression I love, which is iterate your way to awesome.
Mm.
Find something that works, then tweak it, make it a little better, make it a little better. You don't have to make large jumps, just use
Right.
little incremental steps. And when some step doesn't work, go back and look at a different step. But it doesn't have to be, 100% coming out the door, because you'll never get it out the door then.
That's
Um,
right.
it's very funny. Back in the when I was a much younger man, I worked for a tire store chain,
Mm.
and we sold Bridgestone tires. Now,
Yep.
Bridgestone is a very popular brand, a very good brand of tires sold in America and
Mm-hmm.
around the world. And one of the I guess representatives from Bridgestone was telling us one time at a meeting that they spend so much time tweaking everything that if they had been involved in the planning of Pearl Harbor attack, it would still be on the drawing board. And this was in the 70s. Okay. So it's like, this was so many years later, just saying that they just focus so much, which
Mm.
tells you that you can over focus
Mm.
sometimes. And,
Absolutely.
is that font right? Or should I go with, I mean, you could just get lost in the weeds and never get anything done. And I think, if I may paraphrase here, your idea is to get it out there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this. Let's get it. Let's move forward, because you're stuck here and you're sort of the cattle prod to get everybody moving again, would be my, but I'm sure you have a
Right.
system that you use that's more effective. So
Absolutely.
how long have you been doing this, or is this a new venture for you?
This is my newest venture. I've been doing a podcast a day for the last about 5 weeks, being a guest on podcasts.
Mhm.
Right now, I'm building my audience and my brand, and so far it's been growing extremely well.
Well, that's great. That is really great. It's not many people get to do that. Um, and how are you finding your way onto these podcasts?
There's a number of Facebook groups that have people looking for guests on podcasts, and then I'll get on a podcast and I'll ask them, "Hey, do you know of any other podcasts would be a good fit for me?" And I've just been building my audience that way, so it's been great.
Yeah, that's a good point, because that's exactly how we met. I posted something on one of the Facebook groups, and you responded, and that's a good way to do that. If you're looking to build an audience, is to, in my case, it's to get people on. In your case, it's to get on other
Mhm.
people's shows, and it works
Mhm.
both ways. It's
Mhm.
a great way to go. So, wow, that's very interesting. I'm very intrigued with this, Jesse, about the I myself um am a bit of a procrastinator. I've always done that my whole life. It's something I'm kind of used to. Now,
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
me, I don't know if this is true with everybody. What you have found is, especially like when I went to graduate school,
Mm.
I would be working on something. Let's say I had to write a paper on something, and I would do right off the bat, I'd look at the syllabus, figure out what was on, do my initial research, print out some material, um, read it, highlight it, set it aside. And then, like 3 days before it was due, I'd write the paper.
That's right.
Okay, now, the thing though is, I ended up with a 3.85 GPA at an MBA program. Okay. Statistics is what screwed me out of a much higher. I just can't wrap my head around statistics, and I'm good at math, but statistics just
Mm.
caught me off guard. But do you find that with people who procrastinate, they kind of put things off, and then they rush to get something done, and it turns out pretty decent?
Absolutely. I see you can still be a procrastinator and be successful. I was looking at an article yesterday about how the most successful people in the world, they're all procrastinating in some way, shape, or form, where they, like you said, they'll wait to the end and then they'll cram it last minute. And I'm not saying you have to overcome procrastination to be successful. It just depends, what kind of life you want to live. Do you want to be the person that just waits and does nothing and then crams it all last minute and gets it done and has all that extra stress on them? Or would you rather be someone who's a little bit more consistent, that doesn't have to have that last minute pressure on you to get something done, and to be able to grow consistently and predictably instead of emotionally with I don't have to do anything, so I don't, or I have to do something and I do a lot. So it's
Right.
it's finding that balance in what you want to look at. But every person, especially entrepreneurs, we all struggle with these things. It's
Sure.
natural, and we can all be successful with or without it. It's just depending on how consistent do I want to be? How much growth do I want to see? And do I want it to be sporadic growth or reactionary growth? Or
Hmm.
do I want it to be predictable and sustainable and purposeful growth?
Hmm. Yeah, I can see that because and some of what you're talking about, and I think what you're focusing on is somebody who gets to a point where they can't move forward because they can't make a decision.
Mm,
It's not like they're waiting till the last minute to make a decision. They just can't seem to make that decision.
that's
Okay.
right.
Yeah. So there's a little different in the way things are done, but um, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. The
like that. In fact,
perfection.
when you sent me your initial information, I was rather intrigued because I don't know that I've run into anybody who wants to deal with the whole concept of procrastination as far as trying to get your business going and rolling and getting done the things that need to be done.
Mm,
And I think all entrepreneurs have a rather long to-do list.
that's right.
And I know that some of them, they've got a long list and stuff that could be delegated, but they don't.
Mm,
So, it takes them forever to get anything, and they tend to focus on the big things instead of getting a lot of those little things off their list, which are always going to be back here in their brain telling them you got to do this and not getting stuff
yeah.
done. So,
That's right. That's right.
yeah, that's really great. Hey, if people want to get in touch with you, do you have a website or a social media contact that they can get in touch with you on this?
Yeah, absolutely. I have a free guide for any other entrepreneur out there that wants to overcome procrastination. I call it my procrastination to profit planner. You can get a free copy of that at effortlessgrowth.co. That's effortlessgrowth.co. You go in there, put in your email address. I'll send you a copy of that free guide. After you sign up to my email list, I also have a free private Facebook group that I'll be inviting you to. And inside that private group, I go live every single day answering people's questions.
Okay, that's terrific. Um, all right. Well, before we conclude here, is there anything else you would like to add or mention?
Let's if you don't mind me asking, what's been your biggest struggle with procrastination and getting things done lately? Maybe I can give you a quick tip.
Oh, for me, it's more of I guess it's a fact is I've got things to do like for instance, um, I want to create a um a procedure for doing a specific task that I do here was part of my business. And I already
Mm.
know that. And the thing is, I just can't ever get myself to put the pen to the paper. It's like it's there. I need to get that done. But it's always like there's always something else to do that seems more important.
Mm.
And yet,
Right.
once the procedure's down, then when I go to do that, I will be able to look at it and go, oh yeah, I missed that step. I got to make sure I get that done. So that's
Mm.
the kind of thing. Um,
Hmm.
Lots of little things that add up that never get done that should be done. So
That's right. That's right. All right. My follow-up question for you is then what this actually you'll see this if you go through my procrastination to profit planner, but I'll just kind of walk you through it real quick.
sure.
The next question I ask is what's the least amount of time you could enjoyably spend every single day to get started on that thing that you're currently procrastinating on?
Oh, probably 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
So what I like to do is I mentioned this earlier. I like to make it easy. I like to make it enjoyable, and I like to make sure I do it every single day just to build that habit of,
Mhm.
crossing things off the list, getting things done. So
Mhm.
I'll give myself a quick to do. Hey, you know what? Every single day I need to spend 5 minutes on that thing that I'm procrastinating on. And what I like to do is I make it easy and I try to make it as enjoyable as possible. So everyone is different in what things that they enjoy or comes naturally or easy to them. But I find that's the best way for my brain to get over that hump of inaction and actually get it done because I make it so stupid simple in my brain that it's almost laughable that I'm not doing it. It's like, oh, I can do it for a minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes, and I can
Right.
do it while doing this. And I just make it easy in my brain to get started on it. And once I get over that hump, the momentum takes
Yeah.
care of itself.
And that's one of the things I found is once I'm on it,
Yeah, it's
it
easy.
just goes. You just
Yeah,
get
yeah,
it done. It's just sometimes like,
right.
oh, I got to do
Just
this.
get
I got to,
started.
and I wonder if sometimes there's more going on in our brain,
Mm,
and we're cycling through all of this stuff, and we're not at the stop sign that says, okay, now do it.
that's right. That's right.
And that's probably true about people who aren't even habitual procrastinators.
That's right.
You get to the point where, you know, to quote I think this was a song by the Clash, "Should I stay or should I go?" And I
That's right.
feel
That's
like
right.
that
The indecision.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, do I go left? Do I go right? What do we do here? And so we all have that, and it's always been. I think you read about it everywhere. So apparently, it's
Yeah.
part of the human condition. It's
Yeah.
not an anomaly,
That's right.
um, and we all deal with it in various ways. So,
That's
wow, well,
right. That's
Jesse,
right.
thank you so much, and I appreciate
Hey,
it.
hey, thanks for
I
having me,
wish
John. I
you the
appreciate it.
best of luck in your business moving forward.
Perfect.
All righty. Thanks a
Thank
lot
you so much.
and
Hey,
take care.
take care, man. Thanks for having
All
me.
right. Bye bye.